Our sportsNOLA.com trivia question of the evening: when the Saints face the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football, they will wear white at home. Cowboys will wear their blues, which they don't like to wear, as we know. When was the last time the Cowboys wore blue in New Orleans? There it is, 1971. Al Dodd of West Jefferson High School returning the kick there. Cliff Harris in the closest part of that picture. Al, by the way, was very fast. He could run. And the Cowboys, of course, went on to win a Super Bowl, and the Saints won the game. Remarkable. 24-14, as I recall. I guess I'm showing my age. I was at the game. Oh, well, can I tell you? Ken Trahan, sportsNOLAtv, as we continue. And I was there, by the way. As we march on, we turn our attention now to our hot seat segment, where we place Brian Ellie Walsh on the hot seat with a hot topic of the day that's sure to stir some conversation. And our conversation is all about the NFL and who is the best team in the NFL in 2015. Brian, you get the first crack.
As always, Dr. Trahan, I appreciate the time to speak here. Ricky, once again, I'm going to kind of circle around this question before I give my answer. No, I'm not. I'm lying. I think the best team has still yet to be decided, okay? But right now in the NFC, it is Arizona without a question. Now, the big question about whether the Cardinals can remain in the top seat, the top perch, is will Carson Palmer survive the entire season? Because if he doesn't, we know what happened, and we saw an example of that last year, how they folded like a cheap suit, came apart, unraveled like a cheap suit in the playoffs last year. So if Carson Palmer stays healthy, it's Arizona. But look, I don't know how you can diminish. I like Buffalo in the AFC. I'm not saying, and here's why I like them. I think Rex Ryan's got the mojo working there, okay? I like Tyrod Taylor. I think they've got a really good defense. That's a club to watch in the AFC. But how can you dismiss Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots? Until they're overthrown, I still like the Patriots. I like the Patriots and Cardinals playing in Super Bowl 50.
I mean, Brian, how would you go all around town, all around the bushes to get to the best team, the Super Bowl champ? You trying to give Arizona and all these teams credit. The question was, who is the best team in the NFL?
And I said Arizona, and I said New England.
New England is the best team in football.
Well, that's fine. Okay, you go ahead. Now, I want to hear you support your argument, my friend.
Well, I mean,
didn't you say Brandon Weeden was
I mean, he's a good quarterback.
He's a good quarterback.
Right. And I mean, he didn't. Hey, both of y'all admit that he didn't lose the game last week.
No,
he didn't lose the game.
Right. But he coming here Sunday night to play the Saints, so you'll see him firsthand. You'll see their team.
Okay.
If he won't lose the ball game for you.
Make a case for New England. Make a case for New England.
Well, I mean, what you got to give New England? They got a great coach, and they got the best quarterback in football. And once you got those two working together, he's going to find the right guy open. They got a great tight end. So everything New England do is for trying to win championship. And their coach got 4 of them, and you know he won 5, and he's a Hall of Fame coach so far.
Okay. I can't disagree. They were in my mix. Okay. But I do like what Arizona's doing, and I'll focus on that because you did a great job with doing it. I'll focus on Arizona. You got to keep Carson Palmer healthy, and I think they've got a chance. I think Bruce Arians is a really good football coach who'll find a way to make it happen if you keep Palmer healthy.
And another thing, I really like Arizona's defense.
Yeah.
I like the way they play. See how they had all those takeaways yesterday, and the Honey Badger is a great football player. A lot of people don't give him a lot of credit, but I like Peterson, but I like Honey Badger because he's more of a big play guy. And, you know, you can see that yesterday. This guy can play football.
But again, maybe you guys would agree, maybe you wouldn't. I just don't think, you know, there's so many teams. There's a couple of 1 and 2 teams that are probably going to make the playoffs. There's a couple of 0 and 3 teams that aren't going to make the playoffs, Baltimore, New Orleans for 2. But I just think this thing is still unfolding. But at this stage, going into October, Arizona for me, New England for you, and Dr. Trahan?
Well,
it's not
I wouldn't, right, because I wouldn't say Arizona. I can't put them over.
I'm saying Arizona.
Right, but I can't put them over Green Bay right now.
Okay.
I mean, Green Bay, I got to still keep Green Bay there and New England. Those are 2 teams that I got right now.
Okay, all right. I don't like New England right now. I mean, excuse me, Green Bay right now. Rodgers is good. I think they're a good club at home. They've got some injuries though that really affect. If Eddie Lacy's not in the field, that's not the same offense, okay, that they normally would have, and they're already without Jordy Nelson. So they're going to be in the mix, but I think Arizona's a better club if everybody stays healthy.
Okay, you guys finished now?
Are you finished, sir?
Yeah, yes.
All right, you've made your case. Very well stated. Well, you haven't talked about Denver. Last time I checked, they look like the best defense in the NFL, including Seattle right now. You haven't talked about Atlanta, and they look like the best offense in the NFL right now with the way they've played. By far the best receiver in Julio Jones, in my estimation. And that's all good. But I'm not picking either one of those teams. You've talked about Arizona, and they're really good. And I agree, because they have playmakers on defense. And Chris Johnson has rediscovered the fountain of youth. He's playing very well. And Larry Fitzgerald has rediscovered the fountain of youth. He looks like the guy 3 years ago, not the guy last year. So they're awfully good, and they have a real chance. But Seattle's still Seattle. They've got Jimmy Graham, and oh, by the way, he caught a touchdown pass yesterday, even though he wouldn't block me. And, of course, defensively, they've got Cam Chancellor back, and they pitched a shutout, and they look every bit the part in doing so. So they're really good. So I'm not going to either one of those either. Let's go to the picks that I have. New England and Green Bay. It's that simple. Until proven otherwise, New England is the best team in the NFL. Tom Brady is the best quarterback in the history of the NFL. I don't think there's any doubt about that now, based upon what he's accomplished and continues to accomplish at his advancing age. We all talk about Drew Brees and whether he can continue to play near the level he's been at previously. We talk about Peyton Manning and whether he can do it. The one guy that's doing it is Tom Brady, and he continues to do it. And he's got the best tight end in the NFL by far. He's got solid wide receivers, running backs that make plays, but he has an offensive line that takes care of business and a defense that plays smart and bends but doesn't break. As for Green Bay, they've got the second best quarterback in the NFL, if not the best, in Aaron Rodgers. If you saw what he did to Seattle against that defense, you understand just how good Aaron Rodgers is. Keep in mind, the Packers should have beaten Seattle in the conference championship game a year ago. Outplayed them, should have won. They blew the game. They're back with a vengeance now. They're real, and I think they're the team to beat in the NFC. So ultimately, I like New England and Green Bay to get there. And at this point in time, I don't know how you pick against the Patriots, though it's very hard to repeat. So maybe I'll go with the Packers. When we return in just a moment, we'll talk college football and the brilliance of Leonard Fournette on SportsNOLAtv here on WHNO.